Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I am James Haskell, along with my co-host, Glenn Martin. Glenn, every time I start a live now, it says we're 2 minutes and 45 seconds in.
I'm at 10. So I don't know.
10 minutes?
No, 10 seconds.
Yeah, so odd. I don't get it. Anyway,
Yeah.
We are here, ladies and gentlemen. It is what do they call it now?
Wild card
Wild
weekend,
card
baby.
weekend. They call it
No?
Super Wild Card Weekend. That's what it is now.
More teams.
Because you got the Monday night game now, right? So you got 2 extra games than there used to be. It used to be what, 4 games? Now it's 6?
As far as I know, yeah. Now, 6.
Yeah, you guys can check us in the chat. You always do. So just let us know if I'm wrong. But 6 games. Looking forward to it. But the most important game, of course, will happen on Monday or Saturday night. What? At 8 p.m. at the bank. The Baltimore Ravens against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we are so excited to be here to talk about it, to give you all the good, the bad, the ugly, what to look out for, what to make sure you root for, and otherwise. But Glenn, before we do, let's talk about our awesome sponsor, dude.
Yeah, BetOnline. And BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers and hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. And Jimbo, for this weekend, looks like BetOnline is expecting another Baltimore beatdown. The projected line so far is -10 for the Ravens and a -505 money line. So once again, the Ravens are expected to win and win handily. And I guess that shouldn't be surprising for Ravens fans when you look at what they did against winning teams, specifically playoff teams all season. By far the best. I mean, not even remotely close when you look at the plus minus is what the Ravens did compared to every other team. They are a cool nearly 100 points ahead in the plus minus against winning teams versus the second place team. Like, so much better than everyone else against playoff teams. It's not even close. But we all know, Jimbo, this division matchup. This is Ravens, Steelers. So you can kind of throw that kind of stuff out the window in this one, Jimbo.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there, Glenn. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm still banking on the Ravens winning, but I think the Steelers cover.
Yeah, I mean, I had to bet, it'd be tough. When you look at outside of last game, I think all the previous 10 matchups finished as a one-score game. So
yeah. So I think that before that game, the average was 4 points.
Like,
you know what I mean? But I will say this, and we'll talk about this, of course. The one way I think the Ravens make this recover this spread is that if they get out early.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Steelers have the firepower to not be in a scrappy game. And if they're down 14, something like, we get 2 quick touchdowns, I think it's over.
Yeah, we might be seeing a George Pickens temper tantrum on the
side. Something like that, right? So I think the Ravens, if they can pounce, then then that could change things. And we'll get into that. But yeah, that spread is something that I'll be interested in watching as the game. It's already like right upon us, but as it does get closer. But like you said, Glenn, familiar opponent, but in the last game, health was a bit different for both teams.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think that's an important factor here. So let's start there. Let's talk about this health. Let's talk about our Baltimore Ravens, of course. DK, if you want to throw that up on the screen. The number one person on the name here is Zay Flowers, of course. He's been officially ruled out. Really unfortunate for him and the Ravens fans what happened to him in that game. It's the first game Zay Flowers will miss due to injury in his NFL career, and it happens to be because of that fluky play at the in a game that we had handled, right? So I understood why he was playing. I'm not saying he shouldn't have played, but it sure is a bummer to not see him out there. Now on the other end of it, good to see. Oh, and then Tom Baudo, we'll get to your super chat in 1 second, but I just wanted to run through this real quick. Kyle Hamilton's knee, full participant. I think we expected that. He has a bit of the Wolverine gene in him. Deontay Hardy is back. I don't know what sort of an impact he has.
I don't see the need to activate him.
Right. No, I agree with you there. And then Justice Hill,
That's
super
a big
happy.
one.
That is a huge one. Super happy he's back, and glad that he's over the concussion and the illness. But Tom Votto, Glenn, and I'll throw this question to you. Level of concern from 1 to 10 about Zay not playing. I personally think it's a moderate concern. Where are you at, Glenn? Like 1 to 10, when it comes to concern about Zay?
Well, I think it's something because it gives the Steelers, I think, a bit of hope in that, the Ravens are a bit shorthanded and a guy who's certainly key in their offense on the outside. And I think what it'll do is it's certainly going to turn up the aggression for the Steelers, right? They're going to feel a lot more empowered to be aggressive on the outside, to do their classic press man coverage, load the box. I think they'll be a lot less scared of us on the outside. So as far as level of concern, I guess if Zay was healthy, my concern would be a 4 or 3 of this game. And with him out, it goes up to a 6. So, I mean, a substantial shift for one player being out. So, yeah, I think there's moderate concern. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And Tom, to your point, I'm right about where you are, Glenn, because just like you said, other things, cascading things now fall into place for them, right? Can they, not like you said, they have more confidence, loading the box. And then what that does is if that limits Derrick Henry, do we get more desperate as an offense? Also, the receivers, do they open up? Do they get open as quick as Zay, right? If they're going to be blitzing, can they beat the blitz? Can a guy get open early enough outside of number 4? All those things you start to ask that you wouldn't necessarily ask. Like we've seen we kind of slayed that demon already when it comes to heavy blitz games against Lamar Jackson this year, but Zay's not going to be there. So how does that change things, right? So now about the Steelers, I think it's probably the other way around, Glenn, as far as health goes.
Yeah, they've certainly gotten healthier since the last time these two teams faced. They had a ton of injuries last time. And really all the guys that missed last game are back in this one. Dante Jackson, big get back for them. He participated in full all week at practice. He's expected to play. Cam Hayward continues to be an ageless wonder, putting up a big game last week. But particularly if you just look at who was out last week and who's back for them, I think Larry Ogunjobi, I believe, missed the last matchup. I talked about Dante Jackson. That's their number 2 corner. Deshaun Elliott missed last matchup. He's back and played last week as well. Alex Highsmith missed the last matchup. He's back. We know how important that guy is, how good of a player he is. I mean, they are much, much healthier on the defensive side of the ball. And let's not forget that even though the ultimate score, the Ravens came out on top, they had a slow start in that game as well. So this isn't going to be the cakewalk that I think a lot of Ravens fans are hoping this will be.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you, Glenn. Now the lucky part is that if you guys remember in our last show, Glenn was wanting a nail biter. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn wants some entertainment. You said you didn't want a blowout, baby.
Yeah, I didn't. If I could choose how we win, yeah.
You obviously want us to win, but
of course, yeah.
Ultimately, you want them old Steelers to stick around long enough just to die.
Yeah, I mean, if I can choose, again, I'll take a win any way I can get it. But if you're saying, Glenn, you have the power to completely sculpt this win, I would say I'd rather us win a competitive game. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, but to your point, yeah, the health is definitely on the positive side for the Steelers. They have a lot of guys returning.
By the way, Highsmith did play last game. Thanks for the correction in the chat.
He did?
Yeah, he had a strip sack, as it was pointed out in the chat.
Early on in that game. Was that his first game back, I think?
It might have been because I thought it was a Herbig game, but was that the game? No, Herbig played too. So yeah, they were all out there last time, but they did have missing guys in the secondary that I mentioned.
Yeah, Tom Votto asks Wallace or Nelson for wide receiver 2. What do you think?
It's Nelly, right?
What'd you say?
It's Nelly.
Yeah.
It's been Nelly all year.
In this situation, yeah, with Zay out for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, Nelly's been the next guy up all year long if he's healthy. Now, he's had moments where he's missed for sure, but I think there's a level of comfortability between Lamar Jackson and Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, now everyone talks about the wide receivers, and it's funny because Tylan Wallace, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Is he the guy that can get open in a phone booth better than maybe the other guys in front of him just at that specific thing, right? Like if you need a guy to get open in a small area? Is he maybe the best guy that can do it? I don't know, but I do think we are forgetting about one name that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to hold you guys all in suspense.
Okay. Can't wait.
But no, I'm looking forward to that. Of course, as always, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some opportunities and threats, matchups, and key players for this Ravens offense versus the Steelers defense. Glenn's going to run down our offense from a statistical standpoint, and then I'll do the same with their defense, and then we'll get into matchups and things like that. So, Glenn, why don't you talk about this Ravens world-class offense, which, as far as we know, is the first team to be in a category of its own, right? To lead the league in what? Yards per attempt and yards in passing and running? Not attempt, but like completion and rushing attempt, correct?
No, you were right. Yards per attempt and yards per carry on the ground. Yeah. Both. Which is absolutely insane. But yeah, for the rest of the rankings, the Ravens finished the season third in points per game at 30.5, first in yards at 424.9, just a hair under 425. Yards per play first, 6.8. Let's see. Conversion, they're third, 48%. Red zone scoring first. I mean, Jim, this offense is so damn good. It's unbelievable. First in red zone scoring, 74.2%. They are first in yards per carry, like I mentioned, at 5.8. First in rushing yards per game at 187.6. First in yards per pass attempt at 8.8. Seventh in passing yards per game at 237. I mean, Jimbo, there's really not a lot that this offense can't do. They can win any game you need. They can win a knock you down, physical, smash mouth game. They can win a high score. They can win it any way it needs to be won. But like you said, Jimmo, this is an offense that hasn't played a game without Zay Flowers. And let's see. I mean, they played some moment. He missed some time last week when he got hurt, but haven't played a full game. Let's see how that affects this offense.
Yeah, I'm with you there 100%. And certainly a bit nervous about it. But, talking about their defense, the offense, obviously historic. You guys know how good the Ravens offense is. But their defense is, nothing to overlook, right? They're eighth in the league in points surrendered at 20 points a game. On third down, they're second in the league at 35%. They only allow teams to convert on 35% of third downs. It's amazing that their statistics are still good in certain categories, and they've just went 0-4.
Yeah,
like that's just wild. I wish they would have won the last game. Not that I'm afraid of playing them, but just because I want them to be coming off a win.
It's like the law of averages. You think it's just a matter of, yeah.
Now, in the red zone, they're middle of the pack, so not as good as they are on third down. In the red zone, they are 13th in the league at 54%. Against the rush, they're 6th at 98.7. But somebody check me on this. We ran the ball particularly well last time, didn't we, in the win? I probably should have looked that up. But anyway, we ran the ball particularly well last time against them, didn't we, DK?
Oh, yeah. We had 162 yards from Derrick Henry.
Yeah. So while
good.
they are 98th in the league, not 98th in the league, they're only surrendering 98 yards a game at 6th in the league. It's certainly something that will be a focal point, I'm sure, for our offense. But they're 25th in the league at air yards surrendered per game at 22.8, and certainly playing the Bengals the last week of the season didn't help that average. But look, this defense is good. They're disciplined. Kind of dirty. They're aggressive. Look, their sack rate is not as good as I thought it would be. They're 19th in the league in sack rate. I thought that would be a little higher. But it's a good defense. They got guys at every level. They got Watt. They got Highsmith. They got, what's the other dude's name? Herzog?
Herbig.
Yeah. It wasn't Herzog another guy?
Sounds right.
I'm making up names now. Anyway, and then of course they have, we know him, number 6 PQ, and then they have Elliott, like you said.
Minka.
They got Minka. They got Porter Jr.
Yeah.
So they got names over there. They got a defensive coach, and so certainly this is no Cleveland Browns in Week 18 we're playing.
No, it's not, and it's a team that knows this probably better than any team in the league. That plays a part in this. Like, that is a big deal. And with Flowers out, I think, like I mentioned earlier, that they're certainly going to be turning up the aggression. They're going to be and this is already an aggressive defense, defense that plays us more aggressive than most teams will. And I think that's only going to get ratcheted up. They're going to do what they do. They're going to press man on the outside. They're going to bring run blitzes early to try and force us into long second and third downs. And man, you better believe that on third down, they're going to be bringing the noise. I think there's, again, press man on the outside, and then the potential of certainly some bracket coverage for Mark Andrews. The games he's been had, 6 straight games with a touchdown. I think they're going to say, we're not going to let that guy beat us. And to some degree, they should probably, certainly keep an extra eye open on Rashad Bateman, but it's just easier to bracket the tight end from where he's at than it's going to be against Bateman. But Bateman will be followed, in my opinion, by Joey Porter Jr. He did that with Zay. If I was them, I'd say you're following Bateman all game. And that guy, I mean, he's good, man. He's good. He's handsy. He grab you, but he's good. And he could give Bateman some problems, man. The thing I think the Ravens need to do, Jimbo, they got to start fast, right? Like they cannot have a slow start like they had even last week against the Browns. That can't be. I mean, it's going to have to be Monken has to have his best game. I think he needs to couple with certainly Lamar Jackson. Find out, hey, what plays you want to see what are give me your list of plays you want to see early and often to get you into a rhythm. Like I need them to put their minds together, get him his favorite damn plays to get this guy rolling early. Because if they don't have a fast start, this is going to be a scary game, Jimbo.
Yeah, I'm with you, Glenn. And I tell you what, I think that I want to talk about my matchup, but I'm going to skip ahead to my offensive X factor because I think he's going to play a big part in what you're talking about. I think that Monken has got to go back to his Georgia days and say, look, I have 2 dominant tight ends. I don't have Zay Flowers, but I have 2 dominant tight ends. Everyone's concerned, rightfully so, about who steps up. This is an Isaiah Likely game because go ahead, bracket Bateman. Go ahead, put in plays, put extra emphasis, put an extra guy, whatever you do schematically against Mark Andrews, do it. We still have one of the most athletic, hardest tight ends to tackle in the NFL, and that's Isaiah Likely. So when you're talking about beating the blitz, Isaiah Likely. When you're talking about down the seam, when you're talking about a one-on-one opportunity, Isaiah's got to show up in this game and understand how big of a role he has to play. And Nelly and all these other guys, they move up one spot in the depth chart, but this seems to me like a perfect game for Isaiah Likely to get loose. Because I think he's the guy that they might not have an answer for.
Love that.
You're going to put Patrick Queen on Isaiah Likely? I mean, that's just, he's going to do on him.
I think they're going to put Deshaun Elliott on Mark Andrews. And yeah, it's going to be a second guy. It's going to have to be responsible. But I think that's a great one, Jimbo, because with Flowers out, who's the most likely guys that are going to be replacing like that short yardage, quick throw, get the ball in his hand, yak guy? I think it's him and Justice Hill is the 2 guys I would predict the most. But yeah, Likely's got to have a big game. I'm picking Justice Hill as my guy. I think he was a guy they tried to work more in. Certainly in the first matchup, had the unfortunate interception where it was ripped out of his hands. But I think he's the guy who's going to have to replace some of what Flowers does in the short, quick passes. I mean, we got to have. I don't want to see a scenario where Lamar's dropping back and he's got no hot receiver to get the ball out of his hands when they're blitzing like crazy.
Yep.
And so I think you pointed out the one in Likely, and I think the other one's got to be Justice Hill. He's got to be a big factor in that. One thing I want to see us use, the last week in particular, it was pointed out to me that the Steelers really struggle with pre-snap motion. They struggle with communicating. It led to a lot of frustrations boiling over, and there was a lot of great breakdowns about that when Pat Queen is, guy goes in motion, Pat Queen's communicating. You got to take him. And then that guy doesn't take him, and then that guy's wide the hell open. And that's just – and then in the run game as well, where guys are going in motion and guys are not picking up the correct gap, and guys are running just free as a bird. So pre-snap motions really affected their communication. The Ravens do that at 41% of their offensive plays, 5th most in the league. I want to see a ton of pre-snap motion. Confuse these guys. Make them talk. Let me hear them.
And this is what happens when you give PQ the green dot. It just is what it is.
Just is what it is.
Like, these are the problems that you have. Communication issues. inability to see plays before they have. He doesn't have the green dot. DK, is what you're saying? I think he does.
I assume he does. I would assume.
I believe. Anyway, he might not now, but certainly he has. But anyway, yeah. So I agree with you, Glenn. I think I saw that video from Baldy was talking about this.
Somebody, yeah.
You know, just on the havoc that it wreaks on their defense with just some simple motion, right? And like you said, it's been a season-long issue. It's not like just against the Ravens. So I think that's a great point, man. But my offensive matchup that I'm looking for, Glenn, is can this O-line mitigate the impact of TJ Watt? Whew. Because he is the straw that stirs the cup for that defense, right? Mm-hmm. And Rosengarten quietly may have potentially been snubbed of a Pro Bowl alternate.
Who's that?
Rosengarten. I feel like he's playing well in the second half of the season. I said alternate.
Now you're getting greedy, dude. Just because Falele got it. Now you're getting greedy.
Alternate, right? But I think he's so ingratiated. Think about it, Glenn. We don't talk about him anymore. And guess what? Offensive linemen are playing the best when you don't talk about him.
Yep.
Everybody, if you notice in the end zone when he scores, him and Derrick Henry are dapping each other up. Mm-hmm. Him and Lamar, he's got chemistry with his team. They really like him. He's the oldest looking rookie I've ever seen in my life. I don't understand how that guy is biologically younger than me. I just don't get it. But all that being said, he's playing good football, and obviously he's got a big assignment in TJ Watt, and I know he's going to get help and things like that. But that's a concern of mine for sure. A concern of mine matchup to look out for. Can we mitigate the impact of TJ Watt in this big game, right? Because somehow the NFL, I don't understand. Every team in the NFL allows TJ to get a free run once a game.
I know.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think you're right in calling that the game will probably be won and lost on the offensive line. Like this is the game where the offensive line needs to have their best outing. Let's see if Falele can live up to that Pro Bowl alternate status. Let's see if Roger can, live up to the hype you're putting on him, because I think that's the key. I think that Stanley, while he may have moments with the speed of Highsmith and some bull rush, I still feel pretty good about the product he's gonna put out there. Feel good about my center, but the other guys, I still have my reservations. But I mean, Roger, I think has played fantastic. I mean, what he did as a rookie, just looking forward, like, holy smokes, what is that guy going to be in 2-3 years? Holy crap. He's going to be one of the very best, if not, the all pro at that position. That's what I'm predicting. But my key matchup is going to be Bateman versus Porter Jr. I cannot wait to see what Rashad Bateman does to Joey Porter Jr. Put this guy in the spin cycle. Look, Porter's a great player. He's playing really well. He's big, he's long, he's physical. A little too physical at times, but I think Rashad Bateman's nuance, his attention to detail as a route runner is just going to be too much for a young, two-handsy Joey Porter. And I think Bateman's going to have a big, big game and really just continue to grow his name on a national scale. I think he has a big game, despite the fact that they're going to be following him with Joey Porter.
Glenn, that is big. That's a big, that's a bold, while not unlikely. Like, I think that's a fair prediction. It's a bold prediction only because of what you said. I think there's going to be a lot of bodies dedicated to Rashad Bateman, Maybe. So, but I love your answer, man. I want him for the Ravens and for Rashad to get this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I agree with you in that, oh, geez whiz. Sorry. I was looking at MD in Texas. His comment. Brock Bowers' headline would disagree with you, Jim. That's true. Oh, yeah. Brock, just let it go, bro.
It's crazy. Such a freak athlete, just ripped up, just the worst hair genetics you could ever imagine.
Let it go, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's so bad. But he doesn't care. He'll sit in his locker, hair just twisted on top of his head with sweat, and just no shame in his game.
Dude, he looks like, how babies go through that phase where they have like long patches in places. It's like thin in other places. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah.
Like he's just permanently there.
Well, I think not permanently.
That's true. Not permanently. Sooner or later, it's going to be rough. But now we have a referee in the comments, but we've talked about the refereeing group, the crew that's going to be at this game. Do you think that while we're concerned about negatively affecting the Ravens, do you think that Porter ends up getting a call or two? Does he get too handsy in this game?
Well, I will say this. I don't want to see flopping whatsoever, but can I see some embellishment on behalf of our wide receiver crew? I don't see enough of making sure that the refs see the tugging on the jersey. Like, be demonstrative in your efforts to get to a ball if it's just out and you are getting held. Like,
right.
I think a lot of times other teams do a better job of just making it obvious to the referee that there's something going on, grabbing, tugging, something. And I don't see that from the Ravens wide receivers, except for I do see it from Mark Andrews. He can be quite demonstrative when he's being held or something like that. But I need to see it because I think you're right, Jimbo. It's just as likely to be called, if not more likely to be called on their guys. I mean, Joey Porter leads the league in defensive pass interference calls. So now we got a guy named Brandon Stevens who's likely going to try and push that guy and compete for that. And they got some offensive weapons that can draw attention as well. But yeah, I think that's a big factor, Jimbo. Last time we were able to eliminate a lot of the penalties, had I think only 2 or 3 in the last matchup, the last win. I hate to say it, and it's not going to come down to which team wins the penalty battle, but don't be surprised at all if momentum shifts don't happen due to penalties. Like, I could very easily see us shutting down their offense and then them hit a 40-yard PI on Stevens, and all of a sudden they're rolling and they get in the end zone.
Gosh, dang it, Glenn. Can you see the same thing happening in our favor?
Certainly. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
But what I see them more often, underthrown deep balls, they are just a magnet for PIs, and I see a lot of that from Russell Wilson. So we'll see.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll tell you what. The closer this game gets, the more and more nervous I get. By the time kickoff comes, Glenn, I'm going to be nervous. You know that I'm really nervous when I'm doing one of two things. I'm talking more than I normally talk, which is a lot. And if I'm talking more, it's a big problem. Or if I'm just dead silent. If I'm dead silent, Glenn, you have to walk me back off the ledge because I'm full on anxiety, dude. Just, feeling it. If we get one of those big penalties, I'm going to be real quiet. Let me just say that.
Yeah,
but I am nervous. Am I being over dramatic here, Glenn? Like, should I not be this nervous? I'm nervous because there's familiarity, because Tomlin is a good coach, because they have a good defense, because Zay Flowers is out. Isn't playing. Like, all these things are real, right? Like, we only beat them 1 out of the last how many times, right? Like, it's not we have tons of success, in the past against them. I am nervous. I do think we will win this game, but I am nervous.
No, I think you're right to be nervous. This is the playoffs are different. People play different. We see it all the time around every sport where guys who perform, they don't always perform as well in the playoffs as they do in the postseason. So let's just see how this goes. Do the Ravens play better under the pressure of the lights in the postseason? Or do the Steelers? I think it's pretty clear who the better team is, and that's reflected by the line and their seeding, the fact that it's a home game. But it's still a division matchup, and these guys still got to play to their abilities. And so I don't think it's crazy at all to be nervous. And also, we've seen issues where their coaching staff has outcoached us in the past. Now, it looked like last time we outcoached them, and certainly we've been on the winning side of it. But there's also been moments where our game plan going into that game kind of set our team up to fail, and their game plan was kind of perfect. So yeah, I don't think it's weird. I don't think it's crazy at all, Jimbo. And all the fans who are acting like they're not worried at all, I think they're lying to themselves, Jimbo, or they just haven't seen enough of the Ravens' heartbreaks in years past to learn their lesson, I guess.
Now, let's see. Quan says, how long is the leash with Stevens? I mean, it's not even what's our other option?
I mean, Trey White, the only other option, but what's the health of Trey White right now? That's the question.
Yeah, outside of the red zone, can he even run with the guys?
Yeah, that's because Wiggins is going to be on one side. Now, the only thing I would say is, what's the
plan against Pickens?
Well, Wiggins hasn't moved. Like, Wiggins has been on that side, and I guess that's why move a rookie at this point. But man, part of me would love to see him follow George Pickens, man.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because I don't want to take Marlon out of the role he's in. I don't want to do it. He's been too good.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see. Now, the only thing I will say that could play in Brandon's favor, usually the postseason, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they do allow a little bit more in the postseason.
Yeah, typically.
And so that could help him. And then the other piece of it is that Pickens is going to win on 50-50 balls on, he's not going to separate. He's not going to, what I mean? So my point is that Brandon's going to be in a situation where I think that his physicality could hopefully be advantageous to him and not just, a bunch of laundry thrown on the field. But so I don't get as concerned about that matchup as I do if he were playing against a Jamar Chase, who's just way fast, incredible. Obviously he's Triple Crown winner, but another guy who just relies on their speed, and Brandon gets penalties because he's trying to keep up.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. Yeah. I think if Brandon Stevens finds himself, first of all, no matter who's on him, I think we should get in their face and press him.
Sure.
I think he's going to want to get the ball out of his hands quick. And so I think but if it is Brandon Stevens, I don't want to see one-on-one. I think if you see him matched up over there, you put someone over. But look, we haven't even shifted sides yet. We didn't even start talking about the other side. We got caught up.
How did we do that?
We're talking about penalties, and are they just
you're right,
likely to get them as us? Asmodeus says, I'm not nervous at all. Champagne with y'all in February.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right, but I don't believe you, Asmodeus. I don't believe that you're not nervous at all. I don't believe it. Not one bit. I think you're trying to convince yourself you're not nervous, Asmodeus. I don't believe it. I think you got a little nervousness.
Yeah, I agree on that one, Glenn. All right, let's flip here and let's talk about our defense versus their offense. Glenn, do you want to talk about their offense? Do you have that in front of you already?
I do. Yes. Cool. The Steelers offense. Let's our 16th in points per game at 22.4. 20 at 319. Third down conversions, they're 15th, 39.4%. Red zone scoring, 48.2%. That's 29th in the National Football League. Let's see, rushing yards per rush, 4.1. That's 25th. Yards per game on the ground, 127.4. That's 11th. Yards per pass in the air, 7.2. That's 15th. Yards per pass per game. I'm sorry, yards passing per game, 192. That's 27th in the league. This isn't an explosive offense. This isn't an offense that can score points in bunches. That's for damn sure. And it's getting worse as the year is going on. There seems to be a ton of animosity amongst the players on offense. And now it's starting to stretch where the defense is having animosity towards the guys on the other side of the ball on offense. It's an absolute dumpster fire, Jimbo, and I love to see it.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun to watch and read through, and certainly it gets you happy. You want to put a smile on your face, read through the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I love the clip of Russell Wilson going up to Cam Hayward. Let's win the next four. Let's win the last four. Let's win the last four. Have you seen that?
Who said that?
Russell Wilson.
Is that when he's being ignored from Cam Hayward?
Potentially. I just know he went up to. I don't think he was being ignored. Cam was like, yeah, something like, whatever. But and then they went 0-4.
In embarrassing fashion.
Yeah, seriously. But all that being said, let me give you some stats on let's see here on our Baltimore Ravens defense, because we know what the offense is from the Ravens perspective. Let's dig into the defense in this matchup. Okay, so 9th in the league and at points surrendered at 21 points per game. So let me ask you this, Glenn, really quickly. How do you not make the spread closer, knowing that we are literally a point different in points surrendered per game? That means that the odds make believe so much in our offense.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
How could they not?
I mean, that's true, but I still am shocked. Maybe I hate the Steelers. I hate being respectful towards them, but maybe I'm giving them too much respect.
I think so. Well, maybe not. I mean, they're Steelers.
Yeah, no, for sure. So anyway, on third down, 18th in the league at 40%, 12th in the league in the red zone at 54%. In the rush, we are still first only allowing 80 yards per game. And to be honest, Glenn, let's realize that. I mean, I'm not concerned about Najee Harris. I want Najee Harris on the field as much as possible. I'm more concerned about, I always forget his name.
Jaylen Warren.
Warren, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more concerned when he gets on the field and gets those dump off passes and things like that. But all that being said, against the pass, we are 30th we are 31st in the league at 244. But Coach talked about it. We've taken, I think, 50 yards off that average or something. 60 yards.
It was 290 something. So I think, 50 yards. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, huge improvement there. We were deviations away from this. So, yeah, shout out to the defense for doing that. And I'm excited about this matchup from a defensive perspective, Glenn. I'm excited about the matchup. Most excited about is Van Noy on Jones, Broderick Jones. I wrote Rones in the freaking. I meant Jones, just because he loves to run his mouth. He thinks he's the man. He thinks he's the next Trent Williams, and he's simply not. And I'm excited for the old man to take him to school, dude.
Okay,
Let's
well,
go,
I hope
baby.
you're right. I hope you're right. But before I get into my matchups and all, this is what this defense was like the last 6 weeks of the season.
Jeez Whiz.
I mean, I think the fact that other teams are kind of sleeping, like I still hear national media pundits mentioning that this defense isn't that good. And I think they're just not doing their homework, Jimbo. They're thinking that this is the same defense as weeks 1 through 10. This has been the best defense the last 6 weeks in football. And I don't see there's no injuries issues. Like, I don't see a reason why this defense just can't keep building as they march towards the Super Bowl. Like, they're playing at a ridiculously high level, first in every meaningful category, as you can see right there. Yeah, I mean, the defense is absolutely sensational. And offensively for the Steelers, they're going, like I said, the opposite direction. They absolutely need to be good on first down in order to win this game. They cannot have negative plays. They've had so many negative first down plays in this 4-game losing streak. Just so you know, in yards per play in first down, they're dead last in the league at 4.5. Success rate on first down, they're 31st, 37%. QBR, they're 29th, 40. I mean, like, they are absolutely, and then to the reason why they have to somehow flip that around, because their average third down length from this 4-game losing streak is 8 yards. They average 3rd and 8 or more during their 4-game losing streak. They're not going to convert. I mean, this isn't a good third down team as it is. Now you're putting them at 3rd and 8 or more. Like, yeah, they need Jimbo, and I think you're right about the pass rush, man. The pass rush is going to be such an absolute impact in this game. I did it again, DK. I'm so stupid. I never do it right. I just never do it right. I always do it wrong because I'm stupid. But you're right.
Stupid, Glenn. Can't say that.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But you're right in talking about Hendrickson had 3.5 sacks last week against these guys. 3.5. Now, I mean,
Owe got a 3-piece, for goodness gracious.
You know what I mean? I think all of them might have been against their left tackle, Dan Moore, which is why that's my key defensive matchup. It's funny. Your key matchup is the right tackle, and mine is going up against the left tackle. So I think Odafe Owe has a monster game. I think both those guys do, in fact. I think we get after him and take this guy down. But, yeah, that's going to be a key matchup. Press him on the outside to disrupt the quick passing game, because that's what Russ wants to do. And then just get him off his spot and get him moving. And I just, if he can't get the ball out of his hands quick, these guys are in trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Glenn. I'm so excited for Van Noy and Owe to get after. Because I can root for
Van Noy is in both spots.
What's up?
Is that a foul, DK? He put Van Noy in both his spots.
I can
do that. Is that a foul?
I can do that.
No. I can do that. I don't know. DK says
this is what happens when I make the rules.
This guy puts his submissions in last, and he's changing the rules. You know, all right. Well, my guy then is Brandon Stevens, and here's why. I think he's going to be.
Okay.
I think he's going to have the most opportunities. I think they're going to find this guy and they're going to chuck it at him. The Browns did that last week. They're trying to find Brandon Stevens. They're chucking it at his ass. If they're doing it, I think the Steelers are going to be doing it as well. And just by virtue of opportunity, I think he's going to stumble his way into a turnover. I think a ball is somehow they're going to turn around. It's going to hit off a Steelers shoulder pad. It's going to bounce off Brandon's forehead right into his waiting arms, and he's somehow going to have a turnover just by virtue of opportunity.
Let's go, dude. I like that. Riding with Brandon. TJ Wakanda says we need to watch the Justin Fields plays. You know what, TJ? Everyone's been making a big deal of this. I don't care. He's been effectively turned into a gimmick at this point, which I would hate if I were Justin Fields. Now, you got to ride with your team, and it is what it is. You get plays where you can get, but I'm not concerned. I'm not losing any sleep over Justin Fields, to be honest with you. I understand your point, right? But, I mean, you think he's going to break one for 60 or break one for 12? Okay.
Well, I think it's more so just if I was the Steelers, I'd be like, we ain't winning with Russ. Like, what's the harm in going all in and flipping the whole script? That's what I would do. Now, they're not going to do that, but that's what I would do. I would go, this is Justin Fields' game. I'm starting him.
Really?
They have no chance with Russell Wilson. I don't think they have much of a chance. I mean, maybe we play poorly. We load up with penalties. We turn the ball over. Things don't go our way, but that's the only chance the Steelers have is if we play just like absolute garbage. Excuse me. Because I don't see it. I mean, Pickens, just think like Pickens, everybody's like, oh, he's back. You know, he wasn't in the first or the last matchup. He's back. Last week, he was horrible, Jimbo. Had the worst game of his professional career in a game that the Steelers were trying and fighting their ass off. Like, he had 3 drops. He ended the game, Jimbo, with 1 catch for 0 yards and 13 temper tantrums. I mean, the guy's box score is unlike you've ever seen. I mean, it's pathetic. So to act like this guy is all of a sudden is such an impact. Like, this isn't in Megatron, Jimbo. Let's call it. This isn't Jay Jettas from Minnesota. This is George Big Baby Pickens. Like, we have to beat ourselves. That's the only way we lose, like John said in the chat.
Well, and then on top of that, I think that because of the way that they depend upon him, and so there's so many dependencies here, right? It's not only on Pickens. Pickens has got to be in the right spot, and Russ has got to throw the ball in the right vicinity, right? Because Pickens isn't going to leave somebody in the dust. So he's going to throw it where there's defenders as well. And it seems as of late in this last game, they weren't even, I mean, they were hardly catchable balls to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he had 3 drops though.
Yeah, but some of them were, anyway, some of the throws just were, the one where I think he got hurt. It was just, he was never going to catch that.
Right.
Right. And so Kyle Hamilton will have a big impact on Pickens as well and his ability to make big plays, right? Same thing with Ardaris, but certainly Kyle will have a huge impact on that. So it's a good point you bring up, Glenn. Maybe people are overly concerned about George Pickens and his coming back and, you know, him being in this matchup, but I think people are still remembering what happened last time when he beat Marlon late in that game. What was it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of that as well. But B Fowler says, come to section 526 with me to be loud and proud. My second Steelers game ever, first night game and first playoff game. Layer up and represent. Let's go, dude. I am so looking forward to this game. We'll be in section 500 if anyone wants to come hang out with us as well. And if anybody wants to catch up, maybe at halftime or pregame, just hit us up on Glenn's our official social media manager. So hit us up on anywhere social media. It's either him or DK that are going to respond. If we obviously if we're there and there's an opportunity to, we'd love to meet up. Obviously not at the sacrifice of any plays, but you guys want to come hang out with us? Hang out with us.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'd love to take a picture, put it up on the old Insta Circlegram, whatever it's called. We have a delusional Steeler fan in the chat, and I just love it. Even a delusional fan who says,
"Just be there. Just be there after." Right?
Well, but also the delusion that the Ravens are a fraud and that the Steelers are better. But even the most delusional fan, which he's proven to be delusional, still, even in the most delusion, still thinks, well, as long as we win this Saturday, it'll be a success. Like, they can't even convince themselves that it's even possible they could compete for a championship. Even the most delusional fan can't convince themselves that this is a team that could win anything other than potentially this Saturday. It is a sad state to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan when even your most homer optimistic delusional fan goes, if we win wild card weekend, I'll be happy. Like, I love to see it. They have sunken as low as Bengals fan. I mean, this is like the Bengals before they got Joey Burrow. That's where they're at now in their permanent purgatory, quarterback purgatory. I love to see it.
Man, I tell you what, one thing I've learned from this show is do not pick a fight with a guy with a microphone.
No,
like,
don't
do that.
Don't
you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. Why would beating Baltimore be their number one priority and not winning a Super Bowl?
Because they're sad. Because they have they know they can't win anything. We got them. That's our, like, it's, and they're not going to win, but I mean.
Okay, but Maverick, come back. Come back in the post game.
Come back, Jimbo. We're always here.
Yeah, they never do they?
They never come back. They never do.
Gosh, watch us lose, dude. And he's just blowing us up in the chat. Oh, man. All right, so I think that's the breakdown of the matchup here. My X Factor, of course, is Glenn spoiled for everyone, is also Van Noy. But I think it's time to get into our competition. Now, DK, I don't get very much good sleep at night, so I don't remember anything. So I don't remember exactly what we're doing here to explain the difference. And then are we doing the video now?
No. Huh?
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Okay.
We're on to the competition, right?
All
right. Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. So as you guys can see here, this is the total scoreboard results from the entire season.
Yep.
And look, I mean, one thing we can tell from this, Jimbo, is that not a good season for you. I mean, no. I hate to say it like that.
That's all right.
I mean, DK and me battling it out to the very end. But really why we showed this is because,
you ain't first, you're last, baby.
I guess so. And I still have a chance, as do you, for first place. And the way we're going to do this, ladies and gentlemen, our postseason competition, we're going to do it similar to Final Jeopardy in that we are going to wager our total wins each round as a potential win, or that's how much we're going to lose. So I have 6 wins to gamble with. Jimmy has 4, and DK has 7 total wins to gamble with. So we could gamble with one of our wins or all of our wins. And I think it's going to make it for an exciting matchup throughout the playoffs. Oh. So before we, get started, we got to play our competition intro. Is that right?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
This is a problem. Now I know we can unmute.
To my on the fat fly, trying to let they cast stock, homie, let them know here. All my ladies that be mad high, get me off like mad lie. Shorty, let me get this clear. Okay, Baltimore the backdrop, rep it like a mascot. I'ma let them know we here. All my ladies.
There we go.
One day we gotta try and learn it and sing along.
Yeah. I'll let you do that.
You're not doing it.
No, it's not cool enough.
All right. Well, special edition, like you see there, wild card edition, where we are.
Winner gets a hoodie.
Is that it? Okay. I like that. I like that. All right. Yeah. And winner gets a Baconator.
Wait,
Jimmy's
no.
All of a sudden, going to sell the competition just immediately.
Nope. Not touching that again.
Hey, look, after we do the competition, let's make sure. I want to point out the festivities game day really quickly.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The expectation there. But actually, DK, if you could find a graphic, I think I saw it all over the place on Twitter of the graphic. But let's get into this competition. And first and foremost, I guess we have to announce how much we're wagering for this weekend. I think that's the first place we start, Jimbo. So you have 4 wins to wager with. How many? All 4.
All 4, absolutely.
But then here's what you have to keep in mind. If by doing this next week, what's your wager? What are you wagering?
Yeah,
0 if you lose?
When I win, I will be in first place.
But let's just say this. Let's say DK wins, or let's say I win.
Yep.
And you lose. What? Yep. You can't wager 0. Like what?
No, but I can pick up a win and take one away from you two.
Okay, so then you only get one. You only get 1 point next week. Okay, all right. That's the risk he's taking, ladies and gentlemen. So he's gambling all 4 of his wins. Okay, well, I have 6 to gamble with. And for me, I'm going to gamble 2. 2 wins. Because if I lose, I still want to have a couple. And if I win, even if you win, I'll be tied. And so I can't really.
If I win, I'll have 8.
And if I win, I'll have 8.
Wait, how would we both win?
Oh, crap. I didn't think about this. All right, well, look, the big thing is 2 keeps it to where if I win, I'm the leader, okay?
Yep.
But if I lose, I'm not where you're at next week where you have no gambling power.
You also don't know how many DK's gambling yet.
I do know how many DK's gambling because he put his submissions in first. So I did, yes.
Wait, yes. Where his?
DK's gambling just one of his wins. Only one.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Only one. He's being very strategic is what DK's doing because he's going, if I lose, I'll still have 6 wins. You know, I know what he's.
I'm feeling really good about this.
Are you gonna jump the line
right
to the top?
Yep, gonna pull a Nathan.
Well, I will say this: that I was shocked to see how opposite all of mine and DK's answers were. Because one of us is definitely it's gonna be 0-4 or 4-4. Like it's gonna be
going from the outhouse to the penthouse, baby. Let's do it.
All right, first over under is
Derrick Henry rushing yards appropriately. 125.5 is the line. And I'm going under. I'm going a hair under, but I'm going under here.
Hair under. Okay.
Because I still think it'd be an impactful game if he's at $120. Still think it's a huge game.
I'm going to say over. I think it's cold, and I don't think these Steelers are going to want to be hitting 260-pound running back in the second half of a 23-degree weather game. And for that reason, I think he has a second half similar to what he had against the Browns this past weekend.
All right.
And let's see. DK says under. So I'm the only one who has confidence in Derrick Henry in our run game. Unbelievable.
No, it's not. It's not for a lack of confidence. It's that I think that we could beat them in a way that they're not expecting us to beat them.
You heard it first here, guys. I'm the only one who thinks our run game can be successful. I mean,
just remember, folks, that Glenn has picked us to lose against the Steelers this year.
Did I?
Yes.
Was I right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, sometimes truth hurts, Jim Bell. Mark Andrews receiving yards is the next one. Sets it at 35.5. Look, Jimmy, I'm going to say under only because of the attention I believe he's going to receive. I think he's going to receive the most bracket coverage simply because if you can only pick one, it's easiest to go with the tight end just from a field position standpoint. And I think it's going to be him and Bateman who get the most of that attention. So I think it's the other guys that are going to have to win this one for us.
I think it's the other guys that are going to have to win it. I get it, but I still think Mark gets 35. He gets 40, whatever. Like that's just a normal game for Mark his whole entire career. I don't expect it to be lower than normal. I don't think these guys are world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going with over.
Okay. I'm going to say 2 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah. I think it's going to be more like 4 to 6 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown.
Okay. All right. DK agrees with you. He says over. So far I have disagreed.
Glenn, you've been attacked by Mother Russia. All right, let's go to the next one, DK, because Glenn can still hear us. Over under on Ravens sacks. Let's see here. Yeah, so 4.5 is the line for the sacks. And this is I think this is interesting because I think this is the first one I agree with Glenn on. I think we were opposites. No, we also, I believe so. Correct. This is the first one we both agreed on. We're both under in this one at 4.5. Sorry, I gave your line, but 4.5 sacks for the Ravens. We took under. What do you think the number is? I think 4. I think it's a good line. I think 4 is the number.
That's exactly it. Yep. 4 on the button.
So I'm with you. And DK says over. So he feels like we're going to be getting a lot of pressure. Now, DK's logic might be late in the game. They're going to be trying to do everything they can, to stay in the game, might get a cheap sack or 2 in the fourth quarter. I can see that. Oweh, of course, would pick up 1 or 2 there when the game's obsolete, right? So, yeah, I get that one.
It's over, Jimmy.
It's
over. You don't have to keep insulting Odafe Oweh.
Well, look, I had to pay. Okay, I had to pay the price.
Just ask his sweatpants.
Yeah, just prove me otherwise. Is all I'm asking, Adafe. Okay, that's all I'm asking.
When he does, I expect you to be on here
apologizing.
He did. Okay.
Yes, but I'm not eating another bacon egg.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
But I will apologize.
That's fine. That is
you have
absolutely...
to make me apologize, though.
Okay, I will. I'll remind you.
No, I mean like Adafe. Like you have to like prove me wrong, right?
Oh, he's
like, don't give me a sack when we're up by 14 and there's 2 minutes left.
Oh, now it's, here we go. Here we go. Do you forget the forced fumble against the Chiefs?
Dude, you remember how many years ago that was? My son wasn't even born, Glenn. That was before Henry was born. He's now 3 years old. I have 2 children. Okay?
All I'm saying is he has demonstrated the clutch gene in the past. Okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was September 19th, 2021. I will have everyone know.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yes. Anyway, I hope kill it, Adafe. Go out there and kill it, okay? Just go kill it. All right, let's go to the next one.
Asmodeus is trying to...
Stop. No. I'm over it. No. Sorry, Asmodeus. I appreciate it. You have to eat a McBanger. No. I do not have enough diaper liners.
A McBanger would be... Whew, that's worse. Definitely.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, that would be scary. All right, let's get our last...
Yeah.
Our last over-under. Ravens penalties 5.5. This is such a good one because, man, I do not want to be here on our post-game show sad and sulky because we had 10 damn penalties for 110 yards and lost the game. Mm-hmm. Because we all know that this shit-ass Steelers offense ain't moving the ball unless we're helping them. Like, it's just obvious if you just watch how they play. They cannot move the ball without the help of the Ravens shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep.
But because of last game, and because I don't think they're going to sustain drives enough to have a lot of opportunities to get penalties, I think it's under for this one in the all-important penalty category here.
I hope you're right. At the risk of losing all of my wins, all of my ability to wager, I hope you're right. But I think that 3 penalties from the offense and 3 penalties from the defense at 6 penalties is pretty reasonable, like as far as this season has gone. And so I'm going to go over.
Okay. All right.
I think DK agrees with me. Is that right, DK?
Yeah. DK disagreed with everything I had to say this week.
Dude, DK just removed that guy from the chat.
No, I did.
Oh,
I was
did
tired
you?
of it. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's delusional. He's delusional.
Poor guy wasn't even being derogatory.
No, but I was just getting tired of seeing his
done
face.
with it.
I was tired of seeing his face. Asmodeus Donatus says, "I'll fund your dude wipes." He's really trying to get you to get this McBanger.
Not doing it.
There ain't no way he's doing another eating challenge.
No.
I don't see it. Maybe
No.
if you gave him a vegan eating challenge, maybe,
Sure.
but
If I
not.
had to eat a massive amount of food,
Yeah.
sure. I could be the kid on Matilda and be happy.
Just smash.
It's my dream.
Big-ass chocolate cake. Just love it every second of
Absolute
it.
dream.
Do you want to quickly update anyone who may have missed your Baconator post?
No.
Okay.
I had a bad experience, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Came out liquefied, straight yellow. And I didn't make it to the toilet, guys.
Come on, man.
We didn't need it. I did not.
The color. We didn't need the color.
Like bile.
No, I don't need more.
Like
No
straight
more
up
details.
turmeric. You know the color of turmeric?
No. Yes. I didn't want to know.
Yep.
The correlation.
My poor draws, dude. It was bad. Yeah.
Oh my God, Tanja, you had to ask. You had to ask. You knew he was.
I'm an oversharer. I'm an oversharer.
All right, moving on to the first of our tiebreakers, the score over under. DK sets it this week at 46.5. He says over, Jimbo. What say you?
I say over as well, unless my math is bad, but I know it's not. I'm saying 28-24 Ravens win over.
Yeah, I agree. I think over, but actually, you know what? I might on a fly here. I'm going to go under on a fly.
All right.
Because I want to be totally different than you guys. I want to beat you guys in resounding fashion. Hold on. I just saw,
I didn't do anything.
Oh, you didn't do anything. You didn't put your yardage total in at the end. And
I did put it at the end.
And totally box me in, bro.
Well, look, Glenn, to be fair.
What the hell is this?
Hold on. To be fair, I've been putting 400 in all year. I didn't do anything different. You
gave me like a 6-yard window where I can be right.
I'm also betting all my wins. This is my only chance. Okay? That's all I got, dude. I'm like the Steelers right now. It's my Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
That's all I got.
Well, you know what? I say under.
Sink at it.
Because I think we're going to win 20. I think we're going to win 27-10. I think this is going to be a low-scoring affair. And I think the Ravens win it handily, however, unless we just go out there and look completely uncharacteristic.
Right.
But I don't think that'll be the case. But let's move on to the damn yards so we can tell everybody what I'm whining about.
Yeah. So, of course, closest to the pin is the final tiebreaker. As Modi says, there's an impossible whopper. So, impossible will make me sick, like ill to the hospital. Ill.
Oh, that's right.
Like, it's awful.
You're like
I don't
allergic
know what's
to
in it, but yes, something in it. I swear it's poison to me. I don't know what happens, so I can't do it. But if they had a Beyond Burger, which I don't eat, but they don't make me sick, right? Like I'll eat it.
You don't eat. You don't ever eat any bean burgers.
Not anymore.
Anything?
No, I do tons of bean burgers, but Beyond and Impossible aren't that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine. You don't need to eat some chemically made meat in a lab.
Just mash up some black beans.
Yeah, dude, patty it up, bro. I'll
throw
it
some
on the
Cajun
grill.
on it. Throw some good, some good seasoning on it. I'm good.
There you go.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, so second tile breaker, of course, as you guys know, total yards for the Ravens, close to the pin. And this is the way, of course, if we have to, we pick an ultimate winner because it's only one can be picked, right? Like at this point. So closest to the pin and the number is for me 400, ladies and gentlemen, 400.
Oh, he announces it first, but he entered that last. Let me just tell you that.
I did. That's true.
And when he entered 400, what does he see on the paper? Mine at 395. So he completely boxed me in. And just to really further this, what he also saw is DK's prediction of 380. So DK predicted 380. I predicted 395. And Jimbo sweeps in and stamps a 400. I mean, you know what? You're lucky it's not going to come down to it because there's no way like I'm going to be anywhere close to what you two predict. But it's still dirty move, Jimbo. And you can't act. You were like, I didn't even notice. I don't believe that.
No, I noticed. I just wasn't going to allow your number to affect what I do.
So you're telling me that if that area, my submission was blank, you were putting 400 no matter
400,
what?
400, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's just an average, like that's just right around our average is what I've been doing. And if I've done anything okay this year, it's been closest to the pin.
You have been good at that.
So that's just kind of what I rolled with.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
Look, Glenn, this is it. We are, Kyle Hamilton said it. We are on a 1-week life, 1-week contracts. That's it. Win or go home. So either we're going to be here right after the game celebrating or looking forward to a long off season. So guys, join us. Hit us up on social media. Glenn's going to talk about the pregame festivities. I have it here. I don't have a graphic of it, but I have it just from, oh no, I don't have it. I apologize. Actually, yeah. I have it in a group text. If you want me to talk about it.
What is it?
The game festivities, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So, first of all, parking lot opens at 3:30. Then the Ravens walk is at 4:30. Of course, the legends of the game are going to be Haloti Ngata and Terrell Suggs. Let's see. There's going to be a giveaway at the stadium for a light show. And then halftime is going to be all-time low. Big Ravens fans. In-game performance is going to be Lindsley Sterling. Gates open at 6. At the Ravens walk, won't Suggs and Ngata be there, Glenn?
I don't know about on the Ravens walk, but they're the captain and was it the captain and legend of the game?
Yeah, captain and Haloti Ngata, legend of the game.
Does he bring the Bane mask out?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah, how much? I love Haloti Ngata, but not a guy.
He's not a hype up guy. He's like a groovy man type guy.
Yeah, he's like, let's hang out and chill.
Yeah, play a ukulele and eat some food.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cheer for him, but it's not going to be like when Sizz comes out. Like,
yeah, no, not at all. But that's it for us tonight, folks. We appreciate it. We're so thankful for it. It's been a great season. But look, we're just getting started. The real season starts on Saturday. So join us right after the game. And hopefully Glenn hasn't had too many to drink. And we can get through our post game. But you never know. No promises.
No promises.
But that's it for us.